Welcome to the Tom Greene Show. And of course, as always, we're drinking some type of pop.
Heck yeah.
With
Good
Fox
for you.
Sports 1 koozies.
Heck
Even
yeah.
though he's on the paleo diet. Who cares?
Hey, this is on the paleo diet. There's no sugar in here. It's aspartame. Apparently it gives you MS, but hey, you know what? Doctors could be wrong.
Exactly. Anyway, Adam Dustin is back from his week of vacation. How are we doing today?
We are relieved and
There
happy
we
to
go.
still be undefeated.
Yes. And where were you? Why don't you tell the guys tell the crowd where you were at.
For vacation or
Yes.
the Michigan game?
Vacation.
I went up to Northport, Michigan. So that would be like basically right up here, tip of the pinky.
Near the Sleeping Bear Dunes, Traverse City.
Yeah, about 30 minutes north of Traverse City. Was in Traverse City too, saw some good friends. Nice and relaxing, and was like, yeah, this would be nice, go back, Friday night, watch Michigan tear up Akron on Saturday at noon, and then get on to the big A&M game, and
Yeah.
it wasn't completely like that, so. But it was a good week.
It was.
How are you doing?
I am doing okay. I'm doing pretty good. I'm alive. I'm well.
Got a big day on Friday?
Yes, I do have a big day on Friday. If you don't know, I am announcing the varsity football game between the Eskimo Garber Dukes and the Birch Run Panthers. And
Heck
I'm
yeah.
excited for this.
Go Dukes, and Garber lost last week, didn't they?
Unfortunately, Garber lost last week 42-35 to the Frankenmuth Eagles.
Was it at Frankenmuth?
It was at Frankenmuth.
That's what I thought. So they're 2-1, right?
Correct. They're 2-1. Well, and of course, Chip Kelly is not the Frankenmuth coach. So
Yeah.
although there was a lot of scoring, of course, I was working during the game. But, oh well, I get cash. But anyway.
2-1's a good start. 2-1's a good
Exactly.
start.
2-1's a
Dukes.
good start, and, anything can happen from here on out.
We'll have some highlights of you announcing the game. The Tom Greene announcing the Garber game will be part of the Tom Greene show next week. So
Oh, yes, it's going to be a good one.
heck yeah.
Anyway, one quick shout out. We have somebody on Twitter that changed their Twitter name to look like my Twitter name. His name was @Bay_Go. Now it's @BayTV23. It turns out I met this guy up in Grayling. His name is Bailey. He goes to Western High School. And he thinks I'm a legend.
Oh, rock on.
Exactly.
Bailey should come on the show.
Exactly.
Bailey should come on the show.
So follow him @BayTV23 and follow me @TomTV23. And then this guy's got to get on Twitter.
I'm just not a Twitter guy yet. Maybe someday, but he hasn't convinced me yet. Do I really need to right now be like, hey, well, that'd be the only cool thing is currently on the Tom Greene show. But outside of that, it's like, do I really need to say, hey, doing laundry? Yo, got a haircut and picked up Star Trek Into Darkness today. Yo, I'm sitting here making chicken breast on the grill. I mean, does anybody really care? Most people don't care about me when I'm doing something productive, let alone when I'm not, which is most of the time. So.
Well, I usually tweet during the Michigan game and the Lions games and Tigers games, but sometimes I have some weird stuff. And of course I tweeted hot chicks, which is why I met those chicks. Anyway, this guy needs to get on Twitter. So does Deerhead.
Yes. He's good. He's ready to rock and roll.
Oh, yes. Why don't we get right to it? First of all, the game that had my blood pressure to about 2 million over 1 million.
Texas A&M, Alabama. I know you wanted A&M to win that, but...
Not that game.
Which... Youngstown State, Michigan State?
Not that game either.
The Lions.
Not that game either. Our game.
Yeah, I was going to come in here originally and say, let's go back a couple weeks, talk about Notre Dame a little bit, but considering this game turned out to be much more interesting fodder to talk about, Michigan Akron. Holy cow. I feel really stupid, though. After that game 2 weeks ago against Notre Dame, I should have guessed letdown, especially with Michigan. I should have figured that they would not show up. I wouldn't have picked 28-24 with a goal line stand to win. Basically that entire last drive, I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It would have been the longest road losing streak in the country, beating the team with the longest home winning streak in the country.
Yeah.
Would have been worse than Appalachian State by 10. Michigan survived, which ultimately
Yeah.
all that matters. But whoo.
Like I said before, and I posted this to status, my blood pressure was probably, I'm guesstimating, about 2 million over 1.9 million.
Yeah.
When that last 25 minutes of that game. But I'm going to tell you the truth, when Akron took the lead 10-7, I thought, okay, I think this is where Michigan needed to be for them to get going. Because I think it wasn't so much for Brady Hoke to put it in their face at halftime. It was for them to see it on the scoreboard to say, oh, we got to get going.
Yeah. It's one of those things. A lot of people were freaking out on the internet about Michigan. Yes, it was embarrassing. Yes, Michigan State fans are going to start talking now because they blew out Youngstown State. But as far as I'm concerned, they need to start talking when their offense scores against an actual FBS school.
And I'm going to say it right now. If Akron plays like they did against us and they were playing Michigan State, I'm going to say it. Akron beats Michigan State.
Potentially. It depends on which offense.
I wouldn't have picked Akron to win the ball game, but I would have thought with the way Akron played, they could have taken State.
If Sparty would have turned it over, because let's face it, had Devin Gardner not turned it over 5 times, that game wasn't close. It wouldn't have been a blowout, but it would have been like 35 to something. They might have hit 40, but it's like the turnovers. It's really what takes a team that's this much better and this team and evens the playing field. It levels it. If you turn it over a lot, I mean, my goodness. And that's what happened. Devin Gardner had a terrible game. Our offensive and defensive line, they're not playing well, period. They still haven't really played super well all year. And that's the thing is, everybody wants to rip on Toussaint and why isn't Derek Greene getting a shot because Toussaint's not doing anything. I mean, I don't care. Adrian Peterson couldn't do anything with the way our line's blocking. When Michigan's line blocks well and opens up a hole, Fitz has been blowing through it. But
he gives defenses fits.
Yes, he does. He gives them fits when there's a hole, but when there isn't, it's like he looks bad and everything looks bad, and people blame the wrong people for it. But yeah, I mean, if I'm Hoke, I'm getting on the offensive line coach's butt and saying, "Look, man, look at Alabama's offensive line.
Look at Alabama's offensive line.
They had 3 brand new guys in the center, just like Michigan, and they didn't look like that at any trouble opening up holes against Texas A&M. And no one's gonna. As bad as Texas A&M's defense is, I think they're a little bit better than Akron's. So it's like, that's what concerns me. It's like, I think Michigan, they'll respond. Clearly they were grouchy, but let's see Michigan do that on the field. I'm calling out Michigan right now. If they don't go into UConn at 8 p.m. at night on Saturday and put on a show and just hammer that team, this dude's going to be worried all year. Because it's right now, it feels a little, I mean, not super like it, but it feels a little like a Rich Rod year, where it's like, is it true that we could lose? Yeah. Could we really lose to Toledo? Because remember, he beat Notre Dame one year, and then it was like we struggled against every single team, no matter how bad they were. And it's like and right now,
we lost to Toledo once.
Yeah. So I'm a little nervous. Bad. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna throw in the towel yet, but yeah.
Yeah, that was something else, that game. And Adam posted a link on Facebook yesterday, and I watched the link. It was Brady Hoke's post-game conference speech. And why don't you give a little impersonation of that speech if you can?
Pretty much it went like this. No! There's like 5 things that we're supposed to do on Michigan, right? Now 5. One is win. And we did that, right? We won.
Yes, we won.
Yeah, that's all we did. The rest of you sucked. Punter? Who's our punter? Yeah, you couldn't kick this ball more than 10 yards. That's how bad you are. But then at the very end, when they should have blocked it, because our line can't block anybody, you actually get the ball off. Now, figure that out. When you shouldn't kick it, you can kick it a mile. But when you should kick it, you kick it 10 yards. That's it. We did one thing right. Nothing else we did right. This is my fault. This is my fault. I didn't prepare you. I should have prepared you more, and I didn't. sorry guys, which is what I didn't like about it because
Yeah.
he was ripping on them the whole time, and then at the end he's like, "Oh, it's my fault." And I know that was
Yeah.
like, let's make these guys feel guilty as if they feel like they let their coach down. But it's like, man, I would have just been like, I'm not going to be nice guy Hoke right now. I'm not going to be sausage and gravy guy. I'm going to just rip on my team in the locker room, which is what he should have done a little bit more. But we'll see how they respond. Taylor Lewan, his post-game thing, he was clearly mad. Devin Gardner wouldn't say anything except it won't happen again. So I want to see. I'm really excited about this UConn game because it's at night.
Yeah.
UConn's got to be feeling pretty good. And it's like, let's see what Michigan does. If they show up and trounce them, I'll be like, all right, it was just one of those games they didn't show up for. But we'll see.
And to be honest, I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those games where they're going to show up and really tear them up. And this was just a fluke. I'm calling it right now. This was just a fluke. One sec.